Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the St. Mary's County Hazard Mitigation Advisory Board meeting, May 19, 2021. I'm going to introduce the members. To my far left is Steve Walker, the Director of Emergency Services. Next, we have Vince Whittles, community member. Tony Wheatley, Town of Leonardtown. Alternate for SHA, State Highway Administration, is Dave Latimer. We have Mark Stancliffe with Information Technology, Ed Hogan with Metcom, and seated right in the front row is Bill Hunt with Land Use Growth Management. John Dietrich is on his way. He's running a few minutes late, but we're going to go ahead and get started. So did everybody have time to look and review the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes of the February 17, 2021 meeting as presented.
I'll second that.
So we have a first and a second to accept the minutes of the February 17th meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next on the list, we have, I want to skip the first one, which is, bear with me. First on the list is the old business is the Silver Jackets. So the Silver Jackets application, working with MDE, Bill Hunt through Land Use Growth Management, Don Dietrich and his group in the state, was submitted to the Army Corps of Engineers on March 31st, 2021. We also were told sometime mid-summer, hopefully we would have an answer on that project where the Silver Jackets would look at the Leonardtown, McIntosh Run, and also, correct me if I'm wrong, is it Town Run that goes by the sewer plant?
Correct.
Look at both of those and how they feed into the Brenton Bay and what we can do for flooding. MDE requested a letter, and we've attached it, that Lugum sent out to property owners along the McIntosh Run. The town did the Town Run, where they were going to have people out and about surveying both those waterways. So those went out, I think, around the end of April. Was that correct, John? I mean, Bill?
Yes.
Okay, end of April. So they were actually doing some pre-work on those two runs, collecting data. Do you have anything else do you want to add to that, or any feedback, or don't mean to put you on the spot, but
Good morning. Yeah, I wish there were something to report. My role was really limited. I sent out the letters to the property owners that you saw on the attached map. Two of those contacted me as requested in the letter. Both said that they gave their permission. One gentleman just asked that if they drove to his property, they used his driveway. When I contacted Dave with FEMA to let him know I'd only had two, I think he responded back to me that he had some others that had contacted him. But other than that, I haven't heard anything back.
very good. So next we'll move to the Tropical Storm Isaias. Again, there was a public assistance, which a declaration for nonprofits and government entities to put in potential reimbursements at a 75-25 split, 75% being from FEMA, 25% from the local agency, whether it be the town, a nonprofit, or of course the county. Amy Bledsoe from our office has been working very diligently on this. These numbers will change and have changed. They've changed since we printed this and having conversations the last day, but Category A and the debris, there was estimated cost of approximately $274,343 that we're seeking reimbursement for. Emergency protective actions, Category B, $78,366. Category C roads, $2.689 million. The water control facilities, those will be through Metcom, and then FEMA has been working with Metcom on those. Our buildings, Category E, were covered by insurance. Utility, SMECO was working with FEMA and MEMA on the utility cost for their cost for the damages of the storm. Category G, landfill, $536,400. Category G, rec and parks, $41,350. So total projects, again, will change as we go through the process, but right now is at $3,632,087 for the county. So we just wanted to give an update on that. Next on the agenda is the USGS site. I'm happy to report that that is up and running and working as of April 1st, 2021. We're working with the USGS and the National Weather Service on the thresholds for action, minor, moderate, and major flooding. Anybody that's out there listening or watching on TV, if you go to the board docs, all these documents are in there, but there is the websites for the monitor and how you can set up alerts. So if you want to be notified when there's potential flooding, you would get a text from the USGS. So we're actively, daily looking at that site and watching it, and again, working with the USGS and the National Weather Service on those thresholds. Any other old business? If not, we'll move to new business. This is just for informational, but yearly we send out a letter to all property owners. There was approximately 395 letters sent to property owners that would be affected by a dam breach with St. Mary's Dam down in the Callaway area. So we do that as an awareness, give them some information where they can go to get information and different things that they can do to sign up for alerts. Attached in our documents, of course, is the letter. I'm going to skip new mitigation projects, and hopefully John Dietrich will be here before we finish because he was going to go over these. The last thing we had for new business was the building resistance infrastructure in communities. Again, this is just for awareness, but we're going to be participating in the webinars that the state is having with local jurisdictions. There's actually 3 of them, one June 2nd, June 9th, and June 16th, and regarding hazard mitigation projects and the BRIC program through FEMA. And as all you know are aware, that BRIC program, all applications are usually due October, November, December timeframe of the year. Usually takes about 8 months to get an answer, and it's a long process. Usually it's 2 to 3 years by the time you start a project and complete the project. So just informational that we are actively participating in those to better our knowledge and learn best practices from other individuals and communities. We'll welcome Mr. Dietrich.
Yeah.
I'm going to put him on the spot.
Yeah, apologies.
No issues. So
People were trying to drive over planks on Manor Road over the a little problem this morning. Anyway,
No issues. We've kind of gone through the meeting where I put off under new business, the different projects we wanted to add under CIP.
right.
So I'm going to go start it, but if you could just maybe give a quick brief on those projects, that would be wonderful.
All right. We're, by the way, Dan Fogel, who was the head of our permit review team, is now in Mike Canova's old position. So he's going to be working on some of this, but he'll be kind of the coordinator on hazard mitigation from our standpoint with the various projects. So the first one, County Bridge replacement, we created that project when Manor and Busy Corner both got blown out by the tropical storm. We added to it in the 23 program, putting some design money in, and made note of the fact that there are large culverts that don't necessarily meet the bridge criteria, which is 20 feet, a 20-foot span total. You know, you can have 3 pipes, and if they span a total of 20 feet, they're a bridge. If they're over 20 feet, the state inspects them for us. We never really had a program to inspect the smaller bridges, and we got a ton of them. And a lot of them are from the 20s and the 30s, like Busy Corner and anyway, we're aware of it, we're on it. So that program's underway. We the next on the GIS map for drainage, I believe we've got a really nice map of what we know about that's out there right now that defines which pipes are ours and has some information. So we hope to pack more metadata into those locations so that people can get a good idea of the drainage system, and that'll be very valuable, I think, for the public sector, the private sector as well. So, good thing. Which, the other project, HW 2803, or 2003, neighborhood drainage improvements, big push on Golden Beach in particular. We've got all the survey work done out there. As you can imagine, it's very difficult to get water to drain when everything's flat, and it's very flat. But this helps us. There actually is some topography out there, and so we're putting together a neighborhood approach, because as long as those ditches hold water, they threaten septic systems and all the other problems. Water quality and nutrient removal, we're continuing to look for, and that's one thing Dan Fogel's going to be doing as part of the MS4 program, to improve existing county-owned, in particular, stormwater facilities. But the big problem that's looming out there is the failed private stormwater devices that date maybe from 20, 30 years ago, that do get inspected on either triennial or an annual basis, depending on how bad they are. We've been working with the county attorney. I mean, potentially, we might have to take over some of these facilities repair them and put the cost on the tax duplicate of the people who are served by the facilities. Needless to say, this poses issues, but if we don't get the facilities improved, especially the ones that actually qualify as dams, we could be fined by MDE. I think the Johnson Pond experience we're going through right now is just the tip of the iceberg on that. And then what got the experience of Secretariat Drive during the tropical storm, which, part of that was just because the beavers had dammed up part of it, made part of that pond, and Tony, I know, is definitely familiar with that one. But that all contributes to the McIntosh watershed. So, that's the Silver Jacket piece in emergency services wheelhouse. But at any rate, all these neighborhood improvements, the water quality, all of these things are interlinked. And because we, like in Golden Beach, we probably are going to have to create some storage facilities. So stay tuned. Piney Point Lighthouse, continuing to work along on that one in partnership with DNR. And hopefully we'll keep the Lighthouse Museum for future generations. The back part of the lagoon side of the museum facility is the one we're trying to get some money into because in some ways that's just as bad a problem because of the erosion back there is getting close to the buildings. Piney Point Road shoreline erosion, Zane is working diligently on that. One thing we hope to be able to do with that project, and that's making progress right now in design, is an oyster reef. Try our first oyster reef. And to essentially be part of a breakwater, which is pretty cool and will feed us too. I like it. And that also contributes to water quality and helps us with MS4. St. Jerome Creek jetties, that's still, the Corps of Engineers is working very slowly. We're working with them on that. We might end up having to dredge that again before that project actually happens. But there's a major commercial benefit to keeping that open and keeping the channel free because it's the only safe harbor on the Chesapeake Bay for St. Mary's County. Very critical project. St. Patrick's Creek maintenance dredge, that's made good progress. Zane's been working with the Corps. It looks like that dredge will happen, and again, there's a fairly large commercial presence, as you all know, I'm sure, on that creek. And the piece that we've had some success with is that'll go to the dredge material will go to a beach replenishment, probably for the Newtown Neck, that state park. So again, stay tuned. That'll be fun when that happens. So all looking forward to that. And that'll be a big shift because if we can get more of these dredgings done and then actually replenish beaches that have gone somewhere where we don't like them to be, that'll be a great deal. The roadway safety improvements, not quite sure why we put that one in there. I guess, just hazard mitigation on the highways. Yeah. This particular one, the Commissioner O'Connor made a comment that he didn't think that was an appropriate picture anymore. And actually, that's true, and we've changed it. So when you see the budget book, when that comes out, it'll have a roundabout on it. And, this picture that's on there is for the guardrail, which is also part of that program. But we're really going to go all in to roundabouts. The Wildwood Boulevard, Wildwood Parkway intersection, which of course is on a lot of people's mind right now because of that development. The roundabout would really help there. And All Faith and Golden Beach, Sandgates and St. John's Road. There's a number of locations where, due to our skewed intersections or left turns, trying to turn onto a through road with a lot of traffic, the roundabout really works. I'm done. That's it.
Okay. Thank you for the update. Again, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes to work toward a common goal, so it's important to have those projects in our hazard mitigation plan. So I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the project presented to the current hazard mitigation plan.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion by Tony, second by Steve, to approve the projects presented and add them to the current hazard mitigation plan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Does anybody else have any new business? Hearing no new business, we'll go around for committee members' time. Start with you, Steve Walker.
No
Yep.
comments?
No comments, okay. Vince?
No
Anything?
comments.
Tony?
No comment.
John?
Just saying that the Johnson Pond work is underway on trying to replace that dam. Commissioners gave us money for that, sort of an update. They surveyed out there for, what we want to do is capture the material we need for the dam on site. Makes sense, shorter haul. It would also kind of help prepare the site for whatever Arthur's planned to do out there on it. So moving along.
Okay, thank you. Dave, anything?
Nope, no comments.
Mark?
No comments.
Ed?
No comment.
Bill Hunt?
As part of the Silver Jacket investigation that was talked about earlier, one of the things that the people from FEMA have asked me about is what is the actual identification of McIntosh Run? When you look at maps that I've been able to find, when you get closer to Leonardtown, you get a stream that's labeled McIntosh Run. But when it goes, I'll say it's further north and east, it's still in the McIntosh Run watershed, but the question becomes, where does McIntosh Run really start as far as being mapped and labeled? Someone in my office has reached out to the Historic Society people to try to find early maps that may show that stream some years ago with the label, just so that we can send it to FEMA. But if anybody here or listening might know of such a map or a document that explains, that shows where it is, that would be a help. It sounds like a simple thing, but it's been rather elusive to really find a label that definitely depicts what it used to be, where it started. So that would be a help if anybody can contribute to that.
All right, we'll do some digging on our end.
Thank you.
Hearing no other comments, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
Motion
moved.
by John Dietrich,
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion adjourned, or meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.